Hello, guys. Hope you are having a great time. Welcome to my channel. This is Mariella, and you're watching this video because you thought that it is going to worth your time. I want to talk about something that helped me a lot along the journey that I was becoming the woman of my dreams. I don't see many people talk about this. That's why I decided to make this video because I am 100% sure that it is going to help anyone who is trying to become their best version. I want to show you something that completely changed the way I think about money and honestly about my life. Because for the longest time, I used to think that wealth was about working harder or being smarter or just having better opportunities and having the best connections, having all the network. But the more I started studying the brain, the more I realized something which was uncomfortable for me to accept. I was denying the fact. Two people can have the same opportunities and still end up in a completely different places. And it is not random. A lot of it comes down to how their brain is wired to see the world. I didn't really understand this before, but even studying medicine, you learn so much about the brain, but not really how it affects your everyday decisions. Like why you hesitate, why you overthink, why sometimes you know exactly what you should do, but you still don't do it. And I remember I started noticing this in my own life, and I was like, I know I have to do this in order to get that, but I'm not doing it. There were moments where I had ideas, plans, things I wanted to do, but something in me would just kind of like pull back. And it didn't feel like laziness because I am not a lazy person at all. It felt kind of like automatic. That's when I started looking deeper into how the brain actually works. And I figured out that the brain is filtering everything based on its own comfort. One thing that really stood out to me along the journey was that our brain is not showing you or me the reality as it is. It is filtering it, and there is just too much information in the world. So your brain has to decide what matters and what doesn't. Let me tell you this way. Once it decides that, it keeps showing you more of the same. So if your brain is used to focusing on limitations, it will keep finding them. It will only show you the limits. If it is used to seeing opportunities, suddenly, you start noticing things you did not see before. Everything that used to feel so hard for you, it will become so easy. It is just about your internal filter. Now, listen to me carefully because this is where it gets super interesting. This is the part that most people cannot realize, and nobody is even talking about it. Your brain doesn't filter based on truth, it filters based on what it is being trained to believe. So, if over time you've been repeating thoughts like, I'm not good with money, I'm just not in the state that I can deserve that, success is hard, people like me don't get rich, and I'm not coming from money, so it is never gonna happen for me. Your brain starts treating those like facts. So then it quietly shapes your behavior around them. The risks you avoid, the chances you don't take, and the ideas you don't act on. Not consciously, but automatically. You are not deciding for it, but your brain is craving comfort. That's why it is happening. And there is the thing, it's called the identity problem. I think this is where everything connects. So I want you to listen to me carefully. Your brain doesn't really follow your goals, it follows what it thinks is true about you. So basically, how you think about yourself is your truth and your reality. You can want health, you can want wealth, but say it, write it, visualize it, then you will believe it, and then you will grab it to your physical life. It creates resistance if you don't believe it. If you hesitate, if you delay, if you go back to what feels familiar, you actually deny what you deep down wanted. Not because you're not capable, because your brain is trying to stay consistent. So, I want to ask you something. If you knew this, you wouldn't be in this video with me, right? So, I want to teach you how to change that. Where I had to shift my thinking, everything started to actually do like it has to do. I had to reprogram my own brain, and I thought it's going to be dramatic, it's so hard, and I have to do so many hard work. But it is actually very subtle. It's about what you repeat consistently over time, because the brain learns through repetition. Repetition beats the perfection all the time. Not motivation, not one big moment, repetition. I had to repeat to myself when I was alone, when I was in the hardest moments of my life, you've got this. You can do this by yourself. So I want to ask you, what are you repeating every day? That's going to become your reality. Be aware of how you speak to your own self. I want to give you few things that genuinely helped me, and I started changing how I think and how I act with these few steps. Not perfectly, because I'm still learning, but I noticed real differences that I am 100% sure that there are few people that are not aware of these stuff. I want you to start watching what your brain focuses on. I didn't try to force positivity. I just became more aware of where my attention goes. I was so aware, especially what I was consuming with my phone. Because whatever you focus on, your brain strengthens. So if your attention is always on what's not working, your brain builds more of that. If you slowly shift it toward ideas, possibilities, things that you can improve, your brain starts adapting. So, for example, if you are in debt, if you only focus on getting yourself out of that debt, you are never going to do that. Guess what? Because your brain is focusing on how to get myself out of that debt. It is not how it works. You should focus on making a better living to be able to get yourself out of that thing. That's the best example I could ever give. The next thing is that I changed what was feeling normal for me. I've thought that this one is going to be huge because your brain and my brain is always asking, what is normal for me? And it builds your behavior around that. So if a certain lifestyle, income, or level of success feels far away, your brain keeps it that way. Where? Far away. But when you start exposing yourself to different standards, different environments, different people, and different ways of thinking, it can be possible. And possibilities are going to make your life whatever you desire to be. Your brain slowly updates what feels normal. So, one thing that feels so abnormal the first day, it will going to be super normal the next day, the other day, better, every day, 1% better. And I want you to stop lie to your brain with fake affirmations. People think that affirmations work, but they don't understand this. This is something I really don't agree with. If you tell yourself something your brain doesn't believe at all, it just rejects it. Instead, what I did, I started using thoughts that feel like progress. So I used to do, I'm actually learning this. I used to tell myself, I'm getting better at this. I was not constantly criticizing myself. Don't do that. Don't sound like a toxic parent. Something your brain can actually accept is going to become the reality. So never forget that once you believe, even though it is a lie, it will become your reality. And what I did in the next point was I was taking small actions before I was feeling even ready. So this changed a lot for me because I'm still a perfectionist and I used to wait until I felt very confident, very ready, and I thought that confidence actually comes after action, not before. So I started doing the things, even small steps. They send a signal to your brain. This is who we are now. And the more you repeat that, the more natural it becomes. I still remember the first video I recorded. I was not the most confident version of myself, but here I am and I can record unlimited videos within my new mindset. What I did the next point was I got comfortable with discomfort. See, our brain is wired to keep you safe. So anything new feels uncomfortable. And I have said this dozens of times, but I still have to repeat it. Growth and discomfort are connected. If everything feels easy, you're probably not changing anything. You have to feel discomfort. You have to feel uncomfortable in order to grow. Understand this and digest it. There is no other excuse. And the next thing was I stayed consistent even when it felt small. Small repeated actions are what actually rewire your system. And I think the biggest realization for me was this one, that I was not stuck. I was just training my brain. So I started to reflect. Anything that is trained can be retrained. Not overnight, not within a glance, not perfectly, but gradually. I was sure that it will happen. I'm still learning all of this myself, but I love to document all of the steps that I'm learning in my own journey. This isn't me teaching from the top, but it is me documenting what I'm discovering. And as I go through it, I wanted to share it with you guys, and I want you to understand how the brain works has honestly made me feel more in control of my life. Not because everything is easy now, but because I actually genuinely know that there is a reason behind. Because I understand what is happening inside my brain. And that changes everything because it's just the anatomy of this topic. So don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel because there are going to be more of this topic and more of these kind of videos. Stay tuned and stay happy, and we'll see you in the next video. Have fun and bye bye.